Hey guys, it's Emma. So before I begin, I just want to do a few quick updates. As you can see, I'm in a new place. I moved out of my old place into my brother's apartment because he moved out to go away for several months for work in another place. So all my stuff's moved in here. All my books are like everywhere, stuffed in his wardrobe, on the table. I don't have a bookcase anymore because the other one in the previous place wasn't mine. So I need to go out and buy one, so I don't have a nice bookish background. So I'm hoping I will change that soon. So because of that, the move and like all the messiness, and then I had a class too, and I don't know, I just didn't really get around to doing any videos in the month of June. So much for keeping up with BookTube. And I also have not been doing any monthly wrap-ups because I've been in like a really big reading slump for the past few months. I pretty much have finished like one book per month. So I haven't bothered doing monthly wrap-ups because there's like one book, so I just have not been able to get into what I'm reading. The books that I've chosen to read just have not captured me at all. Like I said, they've taken me the entire month to finish them. And one of them I didn't even finish because I hated it so much. I'm going to talk about that one in this review actually. So yeah, so because of that, I'm also behind in a bunch of book reviews too. So I thought, well, instead of doing a bunch of individual videos, I might as well just do one, mashup of them all, because none of them really need to stand alone on their own like big spoilery video. I can pretty much talk about all these ones spoiler free, a few minutes each in one video. So I thought that's what I'll do today, and then I'll be all up to date on my reviews at least. So yeah, let's get started. So the first one I read it quite a while ago, is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I gave this one 4 stars out of 5, so that's one less than the first one. So I liked it quite a bit, but I didn't like it as much as the first one, obviously. There was less action, less adventure, less fast-pacedness in this one. It mostly focused on character development, which was fine. It seemed to be lacking something that the first book had, the adventure, with the archaeological aspect with them, with the Raven boys going on their hunt for this thing in the first book. They don't really, nothing really happens with that in this one. It kind of deals with something else, which, I mean, I still liked it, but I don't know, it didn't quite match up to the first one still. The next one I read after that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I gave this one 1 star, so Goodreads rating system, meaning 1 star, I didn't like it. It was very boring, very predictable. I didn't like any of the characters. The only thing I liked about it was the mystery aspect, dealing with these weird symbols that the main character keeps finding. I kind of like that aspect, but that was a really small aspect. And of course there's a love triangle. So first of all, to give you background, it's a young adult novel, fantasy, about this assassin. On the front cover you can see Selena Sadarthian or whatever. She's like a slave, and then she gets recruited to be in this competition to fight to the death and to win her freedom back. So obviously it's leading up to the competition, and I mean, you know how it's going to end. You know who's going to win. You know what's going to happen. I mean, that's what was so predictable about this book, was it was no surprise how that was going to end. But along the way, there's like this little mystery adventure story, not adventure, like a mystery story thing going along about weird killings and murders and stuff that are happening at the castle that she's staying in. So that kind of part I kind of liked, because I kind of wanted to see what was going on with that. But pretty much I did not like her at all. I didn't like any of the other characters really. And of course there's, as I said, a love triangle. Why any novel would be complete without a love triangle, of course. Which I hate love triangles, so that bothered me a lot. I don't know, I just really don't see what the, I just really don't see what the hype is around this whole series. Like, why do people like it so much? Why is it so good? Like, I didn't find it good at all. It was it was a drag to get through. Yeah, I don't know, I just really didn't like it. I definitely will not be continuing the series. Not to mention the fact that she's supposed to be this like killer-ass assassin, but I can tell you that throughout the entire book, she doesn't really live up to her name at all. I mean, but the entire time this book keeps going on about, oh, she's such a badass assassin. She totally could have easily almost killed him there if she really wanted to. Just like that one time she did this back when. It's just like it goes on and on about how badass she is and how epic of a fighter she is. But there was like, she didn't live up to that at all. It was just like all talk and no, what's that expression? What's that saying? I don't know. You know the one I mean. But that's what it was like regarding the whole assassin aspect. So if you're expecting this like kick-ass girl to like, you know, do her thing, assassin do, and like be awesome and epic and fight, it's not like that at all. So yeah, I did not like it at all. Next one I read was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I definitely like this a lot better than Eleanor and Park, but I gave it 4 stars, I think. Yeah, I liked how I could relate to the main character quite a bit. The main character is about this girl named Kath, and her twin go into their first year at college, and it's basically about how Kath settles in at college. So basically she is very, the opposite of her twin. She is very introverted, she stays in her room all the time, she writes fan fiction online, and she's obsessed with trying to finish her book before the author, you know, brings out the next one, the new one in the series, but she like never leaves her room, and she's very shy and hates interacting with people. And I was like, yep, that's what I was like in my first year. I didn't leave my room. I was like, well, I mean I did, but like I was very similar to her in my first year at university. So, and also she's like the whole writer aspect, me being a writer too and wanting to go into the writing industry as my career. I could relate to her on that level too. I don't write fan fiction, but I mean, still writing, so. But also, as a writer, she annoyed me because there were some moments in here where she like didn't want to like do things. I don't really want to give much away. It's not really giving anything away, but like she doesn't want to create her own story. She just wants to do fan fiction, and I just didn't get that. I was like, how could you not want to do that? Like, why? I don't know. I just didn't get that. As a writer, it was frustrating because I was just like, why not? Like, why? Like, she has this teacher, this writing teacher, and she's trying to like this professor who's trying to like help her, and she just keeps saying like, oh, I can't do the project, I can't do the assignment, I only do fan fiction, I can't make up my own stories. I'm just like, what? Are you really that unimaginative as a writer? You cannot think of your own story? Like, I don't know, it was frustrating to me. So as a writer, she bothered me. I could relate to her, but she also bothered me. And I do wish it had focused more on the writing aspect, but it is a love story, so it deals with that more. So I mean, it was okay. But as with Eleanor and Park, I found that this had an abrupt ending. Both her Rainbow Rowell's books that I've read so far, I found both endings were very abrupt and just kind of, I don't know, it was very anticlimactic. So I don't know if it's just those 2 books that do it, or if that's like a thing with her books, but so far I'm finding that with Rainbow Rowell's books, the endings are very anticlimactic and just suddenly kind of teeter off into nothing. So that I didn't really enjoy that much, but overall I did like it because of the whole writing thing, and some parts were kind of fun to read and whatnot, but I wasn't like crazy about it. The next one I read is the one I didn't finish, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Gave it 1 star. If I could give it negative stars, I would. Okay, let's just say I did. I gave it negative stars. I hated it with passion. I don't think I've ever hated a book so much as this one. It was the most boring, most frustrating, most just excruciating read I've ever read in my life, and so much to the point that I didn't even want to finish the last 100 pages. It's like a 600-page book, a 650-page book or something. Tiny writing, tiny writing. I had 100 pages left to go, and I hated it so much that I just did not even want to finish the last 100 pages. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I ended up flipping through the last 100 pages to see what happened. I'm so glad I didn't bother trying to finish it, because once I figured out what did happen, it was like, oh, thank God I didn't try and finish it, because it would not have been worth it. So, I mean, I know this all sounds really harsh, and I know some people have really loved it. I read it with like a Goodreads buddy reading group on Goodreads, and this was the book of the month that we were going to read for May, and a lot of people had finished it in like the first 2 weeks or something, and they're like, oh my God, I loved it, and this, I'm like, how did you finish it so quickly? Oh my God. Like, it was so slow going, and so much of it is irrelevant. It could have been so much shorter. It was just so drawn out. I cannot explain to you. I mean, if I wanted to explain how drawn out it was, I'd have to tell you what happens in it, but like, I don't want to, this isn't a spoiler thing, so I really hated it. Like, her writing was nice. At first, okay, the premise, I will go through, let's do this in order. I will do the premise first. I'll just read the back. So under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits and an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last, inexorably, into evil. Dun dun dun. Okay, that sounds like it's gonna be, whoa, like, bad shit goes down, like, they're obviously getting a lot of trouble, like, a lot of crazy stuff's gonna happen, it's gonna be really high risk, intense, like, fast paced maybe, you know? That's my impression that I got from it. I don't know if that's your impression, but that's what it sounds like it's gonna be like. So it has a good premise. It sounds like, okay, it's gonna be kind of a very interesting read. And it wasn't at all. There's one bad thing, like one or two, but mainly there's like the one main bad thing that happens in this book. And it happens in the middle of the book. So the first half of the book is leading up to this big thing, and then it happens, and then the second half is all the stuff that happens afterwards with the people that were involved with it, and I could not have cared less about any of it. It was so boring. I thought it didn't focus on at all what I thought it was going to focus on. And also it says here, under the influence of their charismatic classics professor. It sounds like as if they're being led on by this professor, but in fact the character that it's talking about is hardly in the book at all. So that was like totally misleading, misguiding. I don't know, everything that I expected this book to be, it was like the opposite. It was so slow paced, it practically reversed. It was just like the most irrelevant stuff written in here. There was like paragraphs that I skipped paragraphs because this character told in the first person, and this person would just go on and on about whatever, and I'd just be like, you know what, I could probably skip this entire paragraph and I wouldn't miss anything. And you know what, I didn't miss anything. So, and it was just the biggest waste of time. So it took me the entire month of May to try and finish it, and I still didn't even finish it because I couldn't stand it. So that is my very harsh, honest review of The Secret History. I mean, I'm sorry if you love this book, but that's how I feel about it. I don't think I've ever hated a book more than this. So yeah, I really wish I had not bought it. So after that big reading slump with all those last three books, mainly The Throne of Glass and Secret History, I thought, okay, well, I need to have something kind of light and funny and entertaining that I know I've read before and that I like and that will, you know, get me out of this reading slump. So when I got back home for June, I picked up Heartless by Gail Carriger, the fourth book in the Parasol Protectorate series. I read the first three, and I liked the first one definitely the most. The second one was, third one I liked, and then this one I thought, okay, well, I'll continue the series, there's 2 more books left. But I gave this one 2 stars. It took me, again, the whole month to finish it. It was definitely the worst one out of the series that I've read so far, of the Parasol Protectorate, mainly because nothing happens in it. Nothing happens up until the last quarter of the book. The first 3 quarters of the book, I could not tell you what happened in it, because nothing did. It was, I don't even know, I don't even remember anything that happened in the first 3 quarters of the book. So much for trying to get out of my reading slump, because this, you know, just brought me right back into it. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with that because, as I said, I really did not think it was going to be like that. So there's 1 more book in the series, so I'm going to continue it obviously because I have 1 more book left, and hopefully maybe the last book will be more exciting. Okay, so that is my mashup review of the past 5 books that I've read and that really needed to be reviewed. So now I'm all caught up on my reviews, which is really good. I might do this again maybe in the future instead of trying to do an individual video for each one. I mean, unless I'll do individual videos if I really want to go into big spoilery details, but I might just do this from now on. I don't know. So we'll see. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like if you enjoyed, and yeah, thanks for watching.